Welcome to Spiritually Unchained, the channel for the awakening ones or the already awakened. I am Jamhuri, your host. Thank you for choosing me to guide you on your spiritual journey. For the time is now for the world to awaken. I am going to talk about resistance today. Spiritual resistance or resistance to guidance. Have you ever sabotaged your spiritual progress? Have you resisted guidance? I experienced this week a very interesting situation, and my intuition made me aware what was going on. Before 2 weeks before, I was feeling very down, emotional, sad, teary for no apparent reason. I was feeling defeated and unmotivated. And I got that yucky feeling in my belly with symptoms of familiar symptoms of anxiety, where it was difficult to face the morning. And I had overcome this feeling a few years ago when I made my quantum leap in 2021. And I am speaking to you today on September 14th, 2023. And at that time, those 3 years, I had learned to walk with the divine and to surrender to the divine. And I was going through chaos of my life, which has brought me to this point where I feel that I've been healed. So these last few weeks, I felt that I was regressing just for a few days, and I did not like that. And then I remembered one of my teachers, my yogini. Her name is Acharya Faralakshmi. And I spent, I think, 11 days a couple of months ago learning from her with a group of us. From our community, we call it I Am Verse Community. And I got really inspired, and I got to ask questions. And one of the things that she mentioned was, and I think I had this habit, I was just asking about a habit that I may not be finishing things. I have many ideas and I get motivated and I start, and at the end, I lose the excitement, and the things I wanted to do drop off one by one. I must also add that I am a person who doesn't know how to do one project one at a time. I tend to do multiple things at once, and then I end up not finishing them all. And she said that I need to work on my solar plexus, do exercises there, yoga, and that is where my power comes from, motivational power comes from. And so this last week, when I felt down and miserable, I got back onto my yoga practices. And the next day, I just did yoga as a meditation practice where I surrendered. Before I started, I put my goals forward. What did I really want to achieve? And I wanted to get back to creativity, to follow my goals. And it took me almost 2 hours. And I was going to do it as long as I could until I felt I was done as a meditation. And that was really deep. Then the next day, I watched my favorite Kenyan YouTuber. Her name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. And she has a way of inspiring me. And I watched one of her videos, and she talked about something very tough, something very delicate, about her culture and about the spirituality going on, very deep things. And she was, I sense already that it was a very dangerous topic for her to handle. And I know that when I open my mouth to do my YouTube videos, I also confront tough topics. And some of these things, because of that, I tend not to follow up with that intuition to do those videos. When I listened to her, I started to feel a fire in my solar plexus, on my belly area, bubbling. It was getting hot, and I felt like, and it was filling up. It felt like a hot air balloon. I felt like I was being a balloon, and I was becoming really, I was expanding, and I felt that my chest was filling up, and that feeling was so overwhelming, and I felt like I need to turn this tap off. I need to turn it off. And so I did. I stopped. And I knew for sure that something had happened there, that her energy had motivated me. And because I had been thinking of getting back to do my YouTube videos, I needed to make use of that opportunity. As long as that fire is still in my belly, I needed to do that. Because I was also reminded of the many times I have been given opportunities like that, maybe an investment opportunity, any kind of chance, and I get so overwhelmed, or it gets so too good to be true, and I just turn it off like a tap of water. But this time I had to remember every lesson I've learned from my teachers is to keep moving forward, and any opportunity that comes to me is for me, and that I have to implement, or we need to implement very quickly as soon as we get that idea, or it's going to go to someone else. And in the future, we'll be seeing someone doing what we were meant to do, and we recognize it, and you think, that was me. And I have had opportunities like that. For instance, when I live in Canada and I had an idea to do in Kenya, and I kind of thought, oh, this is too big, so I let it go. And a few years later, I went back and I saw a person who nailed it exactly the way that I had imagined it. And I came back and I looked at my proposal that I'd written for the town administration, and it was like, what? That was like duplicate. So I do understand. So I wanted to talk about this resistance that we feel. I would really like to hear it in your comments. Please comment below this video in your journey when you have felt so motivated and felt so overwhelmed by all the ideas that you just turned the motivation and the inspiration off, and just kind of like you want to shut your ears and forget. You want to break, and then you forget it. So I felt this week, and I also felt that the divine was speaking to me through my intuition to say, you were needing motivation, and you got it. You got it. When you did the yoga, you wanted to get back to creativity. And here it is. Take it. What followed after that is I created 2 YouTube videos. And this is my 3rd message in 3 days. And I pray that I become consistent in my postings, YouTube video postings, because I feel like I'm being given a chance. I'm being a chance to get back on the horse. I would like to encourage you to, if you relate to this message, to check yourself and go pick that opportunity, ride on it, ride on that wave. One of the things that my teacher, Master Shri Akashana, I follow him and I listen to him. He's so wonderful, so inspiring, and so wise. And he talks about moments of creativity that you need to go with the flow. Once it comes and you've been shown that this is it, ride on it, because it's going to be much easier and it's going to really be bombastic, the outcome of what you're creating. And it's much better than on the dry days when you're trying to squeeze out ideas and they're not coming. I've had days like that, like, okay, it's time to do this, it's time to do a video, and there's no idea. So I would like to encourage you to listen to your intuition and the people that are being sent to speak to you, because messages come and encouragements come from various ways, from people or from seeing something in nature. I mean, there's so many ways inspiration comes to us. And so I would like to, and I'm speaking to myself as well, to recognize the resistance that comes to me every day that stops me from following my path. And that's self-sabotage, purely self-sabotage, if I may be quite blunt. And procrastination is something that I thought I'd been cured from. I was a procrastinator many years ago when I was in college and so on. And, and I recognized it. I was made aware of what procrastination was. But after, it cost me a lot of things. I would like to close by saying, free yourself, be spiritually unchained. And what does that mean? Allow the voice of the divine to come to you. And when the divine speaks to you and asks you to move a certain way that is not regular to what the religious establishments have taught us. Because if you are awakened, then that's how I believe you found this channel. And it also means letting go of things that no longer serve you anymore. Beliefs, man-made systems and beliefs that you felt no matter how much you obeyed and followed and attended so many events, and now you're being called to go on your journey alone. And you're being taught to detach from those chains. That's what I mean, spiritually unchained. You and the divine, you and the divine. And the divine will teach you all that you need. And listen to your intuition, your gut feeling. And remember what you've heard even in the past. When people used to say, oh, I had a gut feeling, I had this and that. That's exactly what it is. It's an intuition. And your intuition is always right. So be spiritually unchained as we walk this path together. And so it is.